You know, Mitch, they say manners maketh the man.
But, judging by the internet, amenity maketh a jerk.
You're right there. Well, we're going to mind our manners, Mitch, because this is Opinion-ish on etiquette.
Got it? Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting edition of Opinion-ish. I'm Mitch English.
I'm Travis Dale.
And we are on our P's and Q's today.
Yeah,
I never knew what that meant, P's and Q's.
But you got to mind them.
You have to mind. Why P's and Q's? Why not like L and T's or something?
Yeah, I don't know.
Why do we pick P's and Q's?
P's and Q's?
You know maybe somebody who has that answer?
Yeah.
Is somebody you actually were introduced to me a long time ago.
Yeah.
I'll let you. This is your thing. I'm offering this to you, sir.
Okay. Well, it's actually,
to be impolite.
To give us a little backstory, about 16 years ago, I was a new dad, and my wife and I were returning from a family trip in Columbus, Ohio, on a flight to Orlando with our 2-month-old daughter, Casey.
Yeah.
It's her second flight. She was good on the way going up, but she was getting a little fussy at boarding. Unfortunately, we weren't able to sit together. And we pre-planned a little bit, like maybe the guy next to us won't, he'll move. I went up to, and the guy's like, no, my sciatic guy, I have to have an aisle seat. My seat was 10 rows behind my wife and my daughter in a middle seat. And so he's like, I need an aisle seat. So then I asked the people around him, like, anybody want to swap seats with him and then swap seats with me? No, just deaf ears,
Got it. Totally understand that.
Defeated, I walked back to my seat and sat there, and I was just growing nervous because every little chirp that my daughter would make, I'm a rookie dad, so everything's an emergency.
Yeah, I get it.
But there was a lady sitting next to me who was polite and kind and reassured me in a moment of stress. And I want to bring her here today. Her name is Maralee McKee, our friend, our manners mentor. And you were so nice to me on that flight, and I usually don't talk to people on planes. I try to fall asleep.
I totally understand that.
You
know that 100%.
But we ended up talking the entire flight home, and she said the kindest things. She gave me parenting tips as a new dad. We talked about your etiquette business, and you made such an impact on me. And my daughter, too. My wife brought my daughter back for me to hold while she went to the restroom, and you got to meet my daughter.
I did.
You made such an impact. I got your contact information. First thing I did when I got back to work next day, and I was working with Mitch at the Daily Buzz at the time, I passed your information on to James Alexander, our booking producer, who's been on this show. And soon you became our official on-air manners mentor at the Daily Buzz.
Yeah.
I was honored. Absolutely.
Yeah. And just because you never know what opportunities lie around the corner, if you just show kindness, you have the courage to be kind and polite to strangers.
And to go on what we were talking about last week with intention, too, just to break down and just intend to meet people and look at this great relationship. And now we can educate many people because I think it's a huge issue.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that don't know what being polite really is. No. And so we're happy to actually have somebody that of expertise to be able to teach us. And thanks
Welcome to
for joining us. Indeed.
Thank you very much.
And now,
my pleasure, of course.
That little girl who is a baby at the time that you met, she is 16 years old. She just started her junior year in high school, and she's since
crazy, man.
We've welcomed a little sister to her, Tiffany, who just became a freshman in high school. I got 2 high schoolers now, so time really flies. And
It
so
does,
yes.
So tell us about what you've been up to since this. You've been on the Daily Buzz, of course.
Yes.
Since Travis, your initial meeting.
Initial meeting, I've been doing what I've been doing for 28 years now.
Wow.
I can't believe it. I fly all over the nation. When we met, I was flying back from, I actually remember the company Chick-fil-A. They were my largest corporate client at the time. You had to spend a whole day with me in your first 9 months if you worked at the home office.
But let me tell you, that's what Chick-fil-A is. My pleasure.
My pleasure.
You're right. Was that you?
That is awesome. Did you made my kids? 2 of my kids worked at Chick-fil-A.
Did they?
And I would always say, "Hey, thanks. My pleasure."
My pleasure.
They took that home.
Yes.
They did.
One time, a Chick-fil-A employee said, "You're welcome," and then 2 cows came and dragged her in the back. She turned around to the farm. My pleasure.
Okay.
My pleasure.
But that does speak volumes because Chick-fil-A's values are all about politeness. And when we go to fast food restaurants, we're not given that same politeness that we used to. And that's why Chick-fil-A is being as successful as it is. And they're coming to you to teach basically those manners. Is that basically what I'm getting?
At the corporate level, yes. There was part of a program called Second Mile Service. So we're not going to, everybody goes the first mile. That's required. But let's go the second mile with people. So we came up with what that second mile should look like. And what does that look like from our words and from our actions.
Okay.
And that's what you experience when you walk into Chick-fil-A now,
Wow.
hopefully.
Yeah.
You know.
Are you still working with corporations like that in that capacity?
Lots of corporations in that capacity. And then here in Orlando, I have this gorgeous 1926 cottage that's all been restored, and I teach private, one-on-one. So,
that's
yes,
good.
everything from 5 to 7-year-olds, older children, tweens, teens, and then adults.
Yeah.
And so I have, CEOs that'll come to me privately,
Nice.
just
They're
regular people.
They're flying to you now, so you're not flying around the country blessing
I do
babies
both.
and meeting people. Oh, you're doing both.
I do both, but I'm surprised. Oh my Lord, since November of last year, so we're not quite at a year yet, people have flown for the sole purpose of taking this course from Iceland, San Francisco, Aruba, and Poland.
Wow.
What are
All over the world.
the banners that they'll take with them, or at least what your company or
The Etiquette School of America?
School of America, yeah. Like, what they learn?
Sure. I have a framework, and those courses last, depending on the age of the child, it's going to last anywhere from 9 to 16 hours, with 12 being the norm.
Okay.
And it's all built around a framework of 6 things that, those 6 things being conversation skills.
Yeah.
Look, if we can't talk to somebody, we're not getting anywhere in life. Dining skills. You think, well, no, that's just for formal occasions. No, it's not. Life happens around a table. And how many proposals happen when meals are combined? And it's everything from our first baby, from our baby showers to our first birthday, all of our childhood birthdays, all of the holidays. Everything happens around the table.
Deals, negotiations.
Yes, as you get older, absolutely. And then, not to bring us down, but think about it. What happens after a funeral? We gather together
to
eat, and that's when we remember the person. Maybe cry a little, laugh a little as we remember that, their uniqueness.
Yeah.
Meals, important. Dining skills are not just for looks; they're important. And then so there's self-respect, respect for others, daily kindnesses, and those are the 6 threads that I weave through everything.
Yeah. And so you said that stops at age 12?
No, it goes all the way through college.
So my girls still have a chance. They're not too late for that.
No.
16 and 14.
I get lots of teenagers.
Oh,
lots
great.
and
Okay.
lots of
I'm going
teenagers.
to send them your way.
No, send them my way. I'll take excellent care of
Tell
them.
me, how did you get into the etiquette business? Was it like, well, I'm very polite, or were you seeing that, man, this world needs more polite people? Take us through
Were
that
you
journey.
always just this nice?
Yeah.
I was always kind. That's just sort of, I have 2 preset buttons. One is kindness, the other is fear. And to make a very long story incredibly short, from the time through just a series of unfortunate events, let us call them, blaming no one. From the ages of 8 to 14, I grew up in a house of horrors. I spent time hiding in bushes, under the bed, in closets. It was not good. And when you grow up for those formative years like that, I came out of it. I wanted to be invisible. I didn't want you to see me because I felt like I was a throwaway person. But yet the kindness was still there, and a determination that this was not the end of my story. This was not how I was going to turn out. I was going to turn this evil into good. And so fast forward a lot. I don't have my first date until I'm 22. 10 days later, I'm engaged to this man. Well, okay, I don't advise that, especially to my sons who might be listening. But in this case, it worked out great, except that his mother did not like me. I know that because she told me that on my wedding day.
What?
Yes. Well, because his father was a neurosurgeon, so on the opposite sides of the track, I didn't know what fork to use. And I would go to the country club and all these places, and I literally... Travis, I'd have to look to the person on my left and look to the person on my right and see what they were doing. And God help me if they weren't doing the same thing, because I didn't know which one to look at. So go through all of this stuff. But life is good. My Prince Charming has come and he has saved me. He's taken me away. He's shown me my value. And then the very week of our first wedding anniversary, he's diagnosed with terminal cancer.
Oh, my God.
5.5 years into our marriage, he dies. So I'm widowed at 27. 3 years go by. I have the second date of my life. Just you talking. So tell me about your parents. He's like, well, my dad's a doctor. And to myself, I went, You have to be kidding me. No, not again, not again. So before I met his mother, I read an etiquette book. I didn't read it. I memorized it. And I showed up that night at dinner. Now, these were two separate human beings with two entirely different outlooks on life. Right. My precious, precious late mother-in-law was kind and gracious in every way. But I did the things in that book. And I knew that you don't ask, may I use the bathroom? Because who's not going to let you use the bathroom? You just simply ask prior to dinner, where is the restroom? And so then you know. And so I said, excuse me. And I got up to use the restroom because I really did have to use it. And as I was walking by, my now husband and his mother were plating pieces of key lime pie because I'm a Floridian. Right. And I heard her say these words. She said, and still to this day, she was speaking to Kent, and she said, now that's the girl you bring home to mom.
Awesome.
That etiquette book was my ticket. And it was
How did that make you feel?
It's life-changing. Yeah. That's the only reason that I can do what I do. That's the only reason that I'm not agoraphobic and in my house 24/7. Wow. Those words. And I think it's interesting that it was an etiquette book that, along with a lot of prayer, that got all that answered, because guess what the French word for ticket is? Etiquette.
Wow.
Yeah, it was originally the ticket that you received, the very formal scroll that showed the date and time you were able to visit King Louis the 14th or the 16th, forgive me, at the Palace of Versailles. And on one side, again, was your name. On the other side,
ain't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
the other side were the rules, what to do in front of the king, because he had a lot of strange rules. And if you weren't born into the court, you wouldn't know. Like one of them, you couldn't make eye contact until he spoke to you. So you had to walk with your head down through the hall of mirrors. Well, it's the length of a football field. So there's a lot of walking. You couldn't turn your back on the king. So when your meeting was done, you had to walk backwards with your head down a football field length. So listen for the door to open and go out.
I've seen though, like on
my ticket,
when they're making fun of like the king, and they'd have them do that. So that was actually a real thing. That's interesting.
He was a little bit of an egomaniac, to say the least.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Oh, when people think of etiquette, they think of like Downton Abbey.
Yes.
They think of those things that you're talking about. But really, how much of etiquette is actually just about fancy rules than other than making other people feel just comfortable when it comes to etiquette?
I would say easily 95% of it is about respecting ourselves and knowing how to respect others with our words and our actions, how to put them at ease. And then 5% is the rules of the table, what to wear to certain events. But even in those events, you want to show up respectful. I want to make sure that if you have a beachside wedding, I'm dressed appropriate for that. And if you have a super formal wedding, that I'm dressed appropriately for that as well, because that's showing respect to the occasion. To you? How
do you differentiate that, or at least stay conscious of? Because we are in a society where, hey, I'm the main character. Everything's about me, I mean, that's what social media does that. And when you show up to an event, I love dressing up just like the next guy. I mean, that's what I really love to do. But, making it more about them, again, making them feel comfortable than about yourself. Because I would imagine, as you said, you have to respect yourself before you can really respect anybody else, right? Is that part of it?
Yes, absolutely. But, I didn't feel like I belonged in any room. Okay, now I feel like I belong in every room because I have my ticket. I have my etiquette skills.
The ticket. I like that. And I took French and I never knew that. Etiquette.
Pass that class?
Well, barely. Miss Alexander.
We borrowed it from the French, so now they have a different word for
but still, I should know that.
Speaking of report cards, how would you grade America as a society, A through F, if you were to give a report card on their etiquette? Because a lot of people just don't know how to act in public anymore.
You can be honest.
Yeah, I can be honest.
It would be rude for you not to be.
It would be rude for me not to be, but it would also be rude for me not to be diplomatic. Okay. I would say that with most people, they simply don't know what's on that ticket. They don't know what's written on it. So they're not trying to offend. They're offending accidentally.
Okay, so
a C.
And there's a lot
not intentional.
of
B plus. Yeah. I'm trying to give it a grade.
But I think some people will say, "Oh, it's generational. It's It's Gen Z. That's it. It's Gen Alpha. It's whatever."
Yeah.
Oh no. Those boomers with their cell phones and they're walking around. No.
Walking around on FaceTime.
Yes, you're right.
Yes, absolutely.
That's
Asking
right.
the person on FaceTime, "How do I do this?"
It allows it. Everybody can hear.
Yes, but it's like, so it's not generational. We can't blame it on any generation.
Oh, I love that.
Right.
What it is that we have forgotten our social contract. There was an unwritten social contract
Thank you.
that we just all knew. I hold the door open for you. You hold the door open for me. We run ahead to hold open a door if somebody's pushing a baby carriage or they have things in their hand. In traffic, each car allows one car to pull out from a parking lot to merge into
There are rules of the road.
highway. Exactly. You drive in a neighborhood. It's your neighborhood. You actually smile and give a kind wave to your neighbors. And instead, now they just are looking down. We avoid eye contact. The number one thing that I hear from parents who send their children is the child has difficulties making eye contact and making conversation. And no wonder, if I've looked at a screen my entire life, no one has looked back at me.
Right.
That
Good
in real
point.
life, that's a little scary for them. So I have ways that will help them
And
do
that's
that.
what you guide them to make connections and build that confidence within the child.
Yes, it's about building. It's about teaching the rules because you have to know the rules, but you can make the rules fun, and showing them that there's value in the rules, and what's in it for me. So I tell them what's in it for them, and then lastly is each of us, whether we're 8 or 48, we have to get to the point, and I wish it wasn't this way, but it is. We have to learn the skills, and then we have to have the courage to use the skills.
Okay.
Because only after we have the courage to use them do we trust them.
Yeah.
And once we trust them, we're like, oh, that went really well.
Wasn't so bad.
You get the domino effect. The second time, sure, you're still a little fearful, but instead of being, 95% fearful, maybe you're 75% fearful. So you do it again. Well, that worked. And then pretty soon you do have a domino effect, and you're not you can enter any room and you can be confident because you're there. As an introvert, networking isn't my thing.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not my natural go-to. But when I enter a room, I literally have gotten up the courage where I go to the center of the room. I don't hide by the drinks table. I don't hide in a corner looking like I'm doing something on my phone. It is, and it's really hard to go to the center of the room. But I go to the center of the room because I have a 360-degree view then. And with that 360-degree view, I'm in it. And with that 360-degree view, what I do is I say, who here looks like they might need a lifeboat right now? And I go to that person and I get them in my lifeboat. They love me. We're having a great conversation.
Because they're searching. They're searching for you.
Yes, they're on their phone, and people say, "Well, I don't want to go up to somebody. They're on their phone. They're doom scrolling. There's nothing important." I said, "You just go up to the person and say, 'Excuse me, I see that you're on your phone, but I don't know a soul here. I wondered if I could introduce myself.'" Oh, trust me, 100% of the time they'll be like, "Oh no, this is nothing," Or if they are texting, they'll say, "Yes," and hold 1 second, boom, they're done, and then it's all about you.
And you have unlocked something, honestly, maybe in me, because like I said, I never talk to people on airplanes and stuff, and I do now. I'm not scared of approaching people anymore. And Mitch, you mentioned this is something you struggle with.
It's so wild you're saying this because it's like, this is exactly what I needed to hear. I'm going to take that challenge as well. And people always assume I'm the guy that wants to be in the center of the room. And if you know who I am, I have no problems with that. It's just, I don't like meeting people altogether. But it gives that confidence. And as you were talking, Maralee, it made me think, well, you're telling that person that they are more important than whatever they're looking at on their phone because you are going up to it and addressing them. That's what I took away from what you were saying. Meaning, I know you're doing that, but you look but I'm saying you're by telling them and going up to them and talk to them and just introducing yourself. You are important to me because I need to know who you are, and that adds so much to a person. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, absolutely. We all want to be seen.
Yes,
we do. And I'm not talking about it in a social media way. We want to be seen face to face, person to person.
Make a connection.
Never at networking events will I talk about business. No, I'm there. I'm there to meet people. Period. Business has nothing to do with it.
But it naturally will come to you if you make a connection with somebody.
Absolutely, because who do we love to do business with?
Our friends, people
we like.
Yeah,
exactly.
All right, now we're going to go through some different scenarios, and role playing, if you will, that sort of thing, and just different things in life that we all encounter, and where that etiquette is. And I know it might not be as rudimentarily of what you might be able to give the answer, but maybe you can kind of give us some insight. And I want to start off, since you guys met on an airplane.
Yeah,
let's talk about etiquette on flights.
Air travel can obviously be stressful for parents and passengers, and now. Let's say that there's a crying baby and a parent is nervous about it, but is it impolite to say something to the parent? Everybody hears the baby crying. How would you react in that scenario?
A baby's going to cry.
Exactly.
It just I mean, I can't imagine any adult who's not been around a baby. Right. You don't have to have one to see one on TV.
Can I be the devil's advocate here?
Yes.
Please take your baby outside the plane.
I have to say this because I know a lot of people might think this. Moms, and you're a mother, moms can tune out their kids. Would you agree with that? Meaning, like, if they can tune them out to the point where if they're crying or whatever,
it does. You get
maybe
used to it.
Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. Please.
I never could. No, I would. I was entirely freaked out anytime my children were on a plane.
Right.
But you can't. At 2 months old. 4 months old, there's nothing you can do. You can take the child to the bathroom, but then you're holding up one of the bathrooms, so you have to do that.
What is the polite move for the parent of the crying child? Can you just? I issued a blanket apology. I'm so sorry, everybody.
Yes,
that's what we do.
We're gonna get through this together, though. Just try and put your earbuds in. Ask the flight attendant.
He's a really cute kid. I promise you. I try to sell him that way. I know that.
That's what I've done.
Yeah, if it gets really bad, yes, absolutely. You apologize to no one in particular and everyone all at the same time. And you can absolutely apologize to the person sitting right next to you.
Sure.
And then you can, again, take the baby into the bathroom. Maybe you can settle them down. If the baby's a little bit older, though, you should have brand new toys, things they've never had, little things. Yes, enough plan that flight out.
Yep.
And then about every 15 minutes, bring out something new. No, I don't. I don't ever let my 18-month-old eat cookies. Oh, yes, you do on this airplane. That's why airplanes we get our best behavior because this is the time that we get all of these special treats, and you just pull them out of the bag.
That's smart.
And they understand it's airplane only.
And you would front load the trip, saying, "Hey, look, we're going to be on this plane. We're going to let them know that." All right, let me ask you: is this rude? Kid is behind me, keeps on kicking the seat, and I do one of these.
And then parents like, what are you looking at? What are you looking at?
Now that's how I handle it because I don't want to confront.
Say anything
because I'm weak. All right, I'll admit it. But I think the kid will look at me and go, "All right."
That does work.
Is that etiquette? Be honest.
Honestly, it would drive me crazy as well. And so I've looked back before, and I would just look back and go, "Hey, honey, how you doing?"
Okay. And the parent should be like,
I'm so sorry, and put the foot down or whatever. And but if you turn around and you speak to the child nicely, the parent hopefully is going to appreciate that.
Yeah.
Hey, honey. How are you?
What about if someone takes their bare feet on the flight? They take their shoes off.
No.
Do you tell them? Do you say, please? The person next to you takes their shoes and socks off. Have you ever seen that? Has that ever happened?
I'm not.
Yes,
I know that it has happened. Absolutely.
Yes.
I think
flight attendants say you shouldn't do that at all. I mean, they absolutely. You would not want to know what's on the floor.
Exactly. Plus, in an emergency, you need your shoes on.
Yeah.
No.
So, but how do you handle it though? The guy next to you is taking it off. What do you?
Just be like, do you mind?
I mean,
I have a foot phobia.
Or do you go, or do you just be yourself and go, you're not doing that right now, are you? I don't know. I wouldn't know how to handle it. I would probably just sit there and go, okay.
Take out your cell phone, start taking a million pictures of their feet.
I'm going to sell these online. That's a great idea.
Really?
Sometimes humor is the best way.
You're right.
If you're going to have your feet out, I'm going to have to sell those online.
It de-escalates situations.
Humor does a lot.
And more than likely, that person, I'm sorry, do you mind if I do that? And you go, well, I kind of got to think. I think most people would go, all right, I'll keep it on.
There's always going to be an unreasonable person. You can't do anything about it, but most people are reasonable.
Biggest question when it comes to airlines and flying, the middle seat.
Oh, the armrest.
Who gets them?
Yeah.
Who gets it? Okay, let me see if I can get this right. You're sitting next to, say there are 3 seats in a row. Okay? You're sitting next to the window. You get the left armrest as you sit. The person in the middle seat gets the left arm rest as he or she sits, and the person on the aisle gets the right arm rest. That's how it goes. So actually, the person in the middle is kind of getting both the left and the right, but they deserve it.
I think they have right of first refusal.
The window can lean against the wall.
You've got yes, absolutely.
I'm an aisle sitter, but I sometimes put the armrest up. I don't need one. I'm a wide dude, so I can just lean out in the aisle, get hit by the cart as it comes by.
Reclining your seat. It seems like that's what they're made for.
They
I've
are.
had people
You're
in my
lucky.
lap.
Yes.
International flights.
Oh, really? I'm so sorry. Always, and it's hard because the backrests are tall, but you always want to look behind you before you do that because somebody's going to have their drink there. He's going to go back. It's going to spill on them. So look, but they recline and you're allowed to recline.
Right.
Just, if you could just think about how you would feel, if somebody reclined on you.
Right.
So maybe just do it for 15 minutes to stretch your legs or something, come right back up,
I
whatever it
always
needs
ask.
to be.
I'm like, hey, do you mind if I just...
I think that's
ask
cool.
as well.
And then they're like, sure.
They
And
don't
then they're
care.
going to do it to the next, it's a chain reaction.
Reaction.
But
I've had the hair thrown over this back. Have you ever had this?
over the seat.
Long, a woman with long hair,
And you have
throw it over
to
the
part
seat.
it to watch the movie.
I say that's. I think that's my property now. I can start braiding
Braiding
it.
it.
I'm just going to cut it up so it's not in my screen.
Screen.
I've had that. I think it was a flight that didn't have the TVs in there.
Yeah.
But it's been a while. But I go, as always, I go, I can't believe this is happening to me right now. I've had somebody puke on me one time on a plane, and I think I was really cool about it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, what do you say? I mean, right?
Yes, absolutely.
accident.
I had someone do that to me as well.
Oh, well,
You just say,
like-
it happens, right?
Well, talking about people sitting behind you in the movie theater, this is one of my biggest pet peeves. People talking during movies, or worse, having their phone out full blast brightness.
Yes.
How do you deal with that? Because there have been shootings in movie theaters where
Right.
confrontations escalate.
Escalate.
So how do you do it without getting injured?
You just kind of look behind you once,
When
and
it-
of course,
when it
and it's
eases it?
coming. But when it's coming from in front of you, which with a cell phone, that light is going to come from in front of you.
Right.
If they don't stop in a moment or two, go to the. I know you have to inconvenience yourself to go to the lobby. Go to the lobby to get someone, and then the person will come in and tell them you need to turn
'cause
that
now,
off.
now I'm missing the movie. Now, and
Right.
if I go and say something, now I'm just making a bigger scene.
but
And
they
so-
don't know it was you.
But I did do
Buy
that
some
once.
M&Ms.
Top Gun Maverick. I told you this,
Yeah.
lady. She was just scrolling, and I think we watch movies at home now. We're just so
Exactly.
used to picking up our phone. She was googling Val Kilmer. What's Val Kilmer up to during the scene with Val
Val
Kilmer?
Kilmer.
He's not alive.
This is the first thing. Well, at the time, she's checking out on his health, which is a very kind thing for her to do. But I went down, I'm like, ma'am, your phone's really bright, and she didn't realize she was in a theater. I guess she's like, oh, I'm so sorry, and so she put it away. And that's all it took. But luckily,
good.
I'd already seen the movie. This is the second viewing,
Okay.
so I was okay to let it go. But it's insane that's how people. You talk about we've lost that social contract.
We forgot, yeah.
No, we forget that there are others around us. We
the-
treat everything
Yeah.
as if we're in our family room.
Exactly.
And we're not. We're public spaces. It's it's civility. It's politeness. People like that, it's a lack of self-awareness. Self-awareness. What am I doing at this moment that's making life for those in my vicinity either better in a little way or not so great in a little way? We need to become more self-aware.
I think that word social contract needs to be put out. If I can say one more thing about the flights, I know we're moving on to movie houses, but dressing for flights.
Yes. Thank you. Clothing. Remember this is even before my time, but ladies would have gloves and hats on, and it was because it was very expensive to fly.
Yeah.
So it was treated as an occasion.
Yeah.
Now, for $89, if you can fly just about anywhere across the U.S. So now it's the same as a bus. It really is. They're flying buses.
Some airlines have policies though.
Yes,
which I appreciate.
Yeah, I do too. I appreciate them. The same thing that they'll do when you're staying at a hotel and there's breakfast included and you go down and there are grown women in their pajamas. I'm like, really? You couldn't have thrown something on.
There's grown men down
But
there.
that's
too.
just
Yes.
the lack of self-respect, I guess. They have no dignity.
That's a good point. Self-respect. I think that's what we need. You should present yourself.
Yes.
And we're in a society, again, as I said, we're the main character, and we're all like, accept me for who I am.
Right.
You should, I know I'm doing that. And really, no, I'm sorry. I've always said that, when people say, listen, I don't judge. Yeah, you do.
Oh.
Whether good or bad, right? You judge.
We judge. And within 3 seconds.
3 seconds.
3 seconds.
Will up and okay. Wow.
In my 10 seconds, we have a full first impression. If you don't think first impressions are powerful, they're incredibly powerful. We have to interact with that person 29 more times, science tells us, before we begin to change our opinion about them. So if we make a bad first impression, that's it. Who's going to say, well, it didn't go well those first 18 times, but I have 11 more. Let me, but if you have a great first impression, you already have the job. You're into a relationship.
Yeah.
I mean, and so in those situations, things can be talked about. Their boundaries are set, all kinds of things. First impressions are vital. And there is actually, a little too long to teach here, but there's 5 things that you can do in those first 10 seconds of meeting people, the words that you say and the things that you do. You'll make a great first impression.
We got to talk about this.
You have to do it? Okay, I have to do it really fast. And so forgive me, there's a lot to each
Quite
step,
a lot.
but I'll just
proprietary information. So
I
she's
will,
giving us
I
the
will
secret sauce.
just give you what the words are.
Okay.
Of the 5 things, the first thing, well, you're doing them, it's 3 to 10 seconds, so I have to name them one by one, but you're doing them simultaneously, obviously. Okay, first thing is you have to smile, and you have to smile bigger than you probably are because you have to consider the size of the room.
Isn't it?
You have a huge smile, and the person sitting right next to you, but a
like
huge
a real
smile across the room, a real one. And a
Okay.
real smile, our eyes will crinkle, and the corners of our mouth will crinkle. Botox aside, that will happen.
Okay.
All right. So we want to smile. A smile is our nonverbal invitation. If somebody's just staring at me or kind of looking awkwardly at me, I'm not going to go up to that person. But if somebody smiles at me, that's my nonverbal invitation. You may enter my space. So we're gonna smile at the person.
Okay.
We are going to, if we're not on an airplane or in a movie theater, we're going to stand up. We're going to literally rise to the occasion of meeting that person. It's so powerful. And when we stand up, if possible, we want nothing between ourselves and the other person but air. Because if I stood up on one side of the room and you stood up on the other and there was a table between us, it says, not so sure. Let me just keep, 42 inches between us here. So we
I
don't
would
want to do
walk
that.
around.
We would walk around, yes. And then when we can't, we just say, excuse the bench, excuse the whatever it is that's in our way. More miscommunication happens for things not said than things said. So communicate. All right, so we're going to smile. We're going to stand up. We're going to extend our hand to shake, and that's our olive branch. No, I don't mind touching you. It's fine. Let's shake hands. Or hug. That's whichever. If you don't like hugging, have that hand out really quickly. One thing to keep in mind: 86% of us in the United States are right-handed, since that's our dominant hand. If we're gonna hold a laptop bag or something, it's in the right hand. Put it in our left. At a party, you have your drink in your right hand. No, it can go in your left. You can drink out from your left hand.
So just assume and extend the right hand.
Yeah, exactly. When you want to do that. The next thing that you want to do is really, you've got to make eye contact with the person. Then there's a difference between eye contact and staring them down.
Yeah.
So make eye contact until you can make a mental note of their eye color. Then you know that in that
good
initial
idea.
10 seconds, you've looked at them long enough that they feel seen. Absolutely seen. And then the last thing, or, again, all the same time, there are 10 seconds. There's about 10 words that we want to say. We want to start, and it's 3 parts. We want to start out with a great greeting. Good morning, good afternoon, happy Thanksgiving, happy 4th of July, happy birthday, happy anniversary, all the whatever is nice to say. All right, so after the great greeting, if you know the person's name, use it. The first word a baby understands, and it's as early as 12 weeks of age, is their name. So we don't know that it's our favorite word, but it's our favorite word. If you know this person's name, you want to use it.
Yes.
And then you want to say, it's nice to meet you if it's the first time. And if it's not the first time, it's so great to see you again.
Yes.
Just say something kind. Give a compliment or a kindness. That's it. Who's not going to love you? They've been seen by you. You've touched them in an appropriate way. You shook their hand.
Right.
Oh, you did all that. You smiled at them. You even though you welcome them with great words. It's all good.
It's a lot to do in a short amount of time, but I think I have it down. It's just I'm terrible with names. If I've met the person before, it's the retention.
Yes.
I'm focused, especially with guys, I'm focused on nailing a great handshake.
That's what, no, he's
a lot of guys are
insecure.
insecure about, I want to give a firm handshake. I'm going to be manly about it, but
No.
and then I'm missing the name.
The name.
Because I'm focused on eye contact and then also giving a good handshake, like locking it in, not doing the fist bump awkward thing. But then remembering the name, I was terrible with. How is if I'm reapproaching somebody I've met before and I don't know their name, how do I do that? I usually try and get someone to.
I think she said it.
Introduce somebody.
Yeah, well, like, how do you find out her name or the
How
person's
do I
name?
ask them? It's like, do I just apologize? So sorry. Your name again, please? Or
Please tell me. It's so great to see you again. And you can try, if you can try to get to the name from someone else, that is fantastic.
Yeah.
If not, if you think that if this conversation is going to go on a while, then if it's going to be awkward that you don't know their name, you'll say, I do not want to get this wrong. Please tell me your name again.
Yeah.
And then when they say it, you go, oh, I was right. Good.
Your name's a little tricky. How do you pronounce it? It's
Joe.
Joe.
Oh, you got it.
If you do a bad handshake, which I think guys are really worried about this.
Yeah,
Have you ever done one of these?
Yes.
Where you're like,
Ouch.
but you feel like, oh, man, that person is judging me.
I just got his fingers. And I was like,
Do you say, no, I need to give you a good hand? I mean, what do you do if you're in a situation?
let's do that again, man.
I'm the same way.
Same way.
I don't think it's a big deal. Right.
There is the way to give it's called a thumbs up handshake. And if you give a thumbs up handshake, you'll never give an incorrect handshake again in your life.
Thumbs up?
So thumb up, your 4 fingers straight with no space in between. What happens if your hand has ever been hurt when someone shook your hand? It's because your fingers were slightly separated. And as they came in to shake your hand, what happens is the fingers get squeezed together, especially if you have a ring on.
Usually.
Okay, so what we want to do.
Okay,
do you see the skin here between our thumb and our first finger?
All right.
It's literally called the webbing.
Yeah.
All right. We don't concentrate on the strength of the grip. Concentrate on fully connecting web to web.
Web to web, yeah.
So with our thumb up, thumbs up handshake, our fingers out, connect web to web, 2 or 3 pumps, and it's perfect. See, you didn't have to worry
That's the best
about the
handshake I've ever had in my life.
You don't have to worry about the strength.
Okay,
you're right.
Which I just gave you a strong hand because I thought that's what it was. I'm sorry, but now I realize I do that.
But it's not about the strength; it's about the connecting.
It makes sense.
You're
Makes
right.
sense. There you go. See, that's
Do you teach this to your students?
I teach it to 5-year-olds. Yes,
The 5-year-olds.
5-year-olds.
Wow.
Yes, absolutely. I
This is
can
a
teach
power.
it, but
I am 40 years behind.
Well, you know what? Though, I also teach it to 50-something CEOs.
Wow.
Because we don't learn. And the thing is,
That
we
makes
can
sense.
learn. Everything that I do is around those 6 things I mentioned earlier. And we just, it levels up as the child ages. That's all.
That was a game changer.
A lot of business nowadays, a lot of our contact that we have is online. And I imagine back in the day, online etiquette was just not around, and it's something new that we have to deal with.
People are very bold online, saying things they wouldn't say to someone's face.
No.
Are you saying, do good manners just go away? I mean, there's a term, troll. You're trolling somebody.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And how do you deal with that sort of thing? Or how do you present yourself as being pleasurable and have etiquette while you're online? And what is that etiquette, including texting, by the way?
Oh, okay. That's a
It's
that's
a
a
big,
2-hour.
yes.
That's a 2-hour class.
You pick it. No, it is.
It
because
is.
It's a huge problem.
It's a huge topic. And the problem is the people who need to stop it are not going to stop it because we tell them, "Oh, that's not nice." But if you wouldn't say it to the person's face, you're not going to say it online. Period.
Right.
Period. End of story. End of story. But they will always do that because they don't have anybody to talk to in real life, I guess. Or they wouldn't do that. They'd be out having a life instead of just trolling on the internet. And it's okay to disagree, but once someone has said something negative about us, all conversations are off. It's don't go there.
Disengage. Yeah.
What are you going to do? I mean, you're not going to change the world by one opinion, by what you think you're going to write on there.
Yeah.
I want to jump over to obviously, is that the biggest problem that you're seeing is just that people don't really, decorum is just thrown out?
Yes, it's it's scary. I won't even read it. I'm not on Instagram. I have an old Facebook page. I don't know. I have to look. I haven't used it in 10 or 11 years. Well, because I thought I would spend easily an hour and a half a day on social media.
Sure.
And I couldn't trace $1 back to it that I'd ever made. People will take free information from you. They'll step up your dead body for free information.
Well, that's what we're doing right now, actually. But wait, let's talk about texting.
Yes.
The rapid texters. I think every family has one where they can't put one thought into one text, and their conversation is 15 texts. And you pretty much you accept them that way. Is there text etiquette? Is there things, and maybe what you're seeing maybe as the biggest problems that are out there?
Okay. Biggest problems with texting etiquette is not matching the person that you are texting and not being aware of the person that you're texting. So when you have a college student and they're texting their professor and they're not giving their name and they're texting at 12:15 a.m. Not that the professor doesn't, the phone is off, but you get that. There are times to send text. If it's a business situation and you don't have a relationship with that person yet, the text is kind of just a shortened version of an email. You still need to have your name. You don't assume that the person has put you as a contact, right? Until you know that they have you as a contact.
Right.
I always sign what I write. I take full responsibility for it.
Yeah.
So I will, and because I'm not assuming that you have me, listed as contact. So it would be in not matching their style. Now, let's say you're talking to a boss. Again, you want to how do you talk to that boss in person? You want to match that in a text message. Now, of course, there are emergencies. There are times when things are going back and forth. As soon as that boss or that other person begins saying, instead of, okay, I will see you at 8. It's 8 and a thumbs up. Then you can match them in that conversation.
Okay.
But the next conversation starts again and with a little bit more formality.
They give you that green light.
That makes a lot of sense. A lot of sense on that. And pictures and I imagine emojis would, again, that's what I'm getting from you, is just kind of know the audience.
Know the audience. If you have a longer text, the emojis kind of help break it up. Also use paragraphs, skip a little space, and then, because it's a lot for the eye to take in. Emojis, though, they mean different things to different people.
Right. A lot of things can be taken out of context through text.
Lost in translations. Right?
There's a great Key and Peele sketch about this where they're setting something, he's like, fine. And you're like, fine?
Fine.
Yeah, he's taking it out of context. He's like, he didn't say it like that. But you read it that way.
That's perfectly said, because they've done studies. Cell phones were the first thing that most quickly humanity began using the pronoun. Well, not the pronoun, but they began using the word my. Like, we don't say, we say my house, we say my car, but we don't. A lot of things we don't use the word my with, right? But it was my phone. And so everything they are reading, it is their phone with their screensaver, with their case.
Personal.
Yes, it's totally personalized.
All
of your DNA is out of it. So whoever they are, and if you don't know them well, you don't know that, they're reading it through all of their biases.
Oh, you're right.
So you've got to be extra polite.
Yeah.
And say a little more than you think you might, because it has, of all the different bandwidths, think of like AM and FM radio stations, right? So this is the smallest AM, texting is the smallest AM radio station in the world, where a face-to-face conversation, I can immediately see, you want me, you want me to hurry up. Okay, you're done talking now. You want me to go on. If you want somebody to continue talking, 3 head nods, they'll talk 66% longer.
I want to ask about picking up on those social cues, because this happens to my wife a lot. It happened last night, and I got to ask about it. She gets cornered all the time. We're at a school event, kickoff, and this one mom always corners my wife, and she is too polite to break away. And we're already in the car, and I'm like, we're trying to leave, please. Like, how? And I'm like, next time she comes up to you, just set an alarm, like 5 minutes. Give her 5 minutes. But it's always like 20 minutes, and we're all in the car, hungry, ready to go. How can she be polite in that situation? I know how I would get out of it, but she just, is there such a thing as being too polite also?
Yes, of course. Etiquette says, I'm going to put out the welcome mat for you. Absolutely. But nowhere does it say I'm going to be your doormat.
You
There's
don't
a
let
difference.
people walk all over you.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Well,
how
and
expectations? Set
it
expectations.
gives you confidence, is what you said earlier. Is that having these manners give you confidence, and that confidence lets
To
make
set
sure nobody
boundaries.
walk all over on top of you.
Set boundaries. for
But
people.
boundaries. Etiquette is about boundaries. People actually like boundaries.
Yeah.
They do.
No, they really do. You're right.
They absolutely do. They did a test. They made sure all the children were safe, but all the children would always go all the way from the swing sets on a public school playground, and they would just climb all over the fence. They wanted to play next to the fence, so they took the fence entirely down, and all of the children just about clung onto the playground equipment, and it's because they didn't know where the boundaries were. They were uncomfortable. They didn't like it. And it doesn't change as we get older. We want boundaries.
I agree with you.
We do.
It makes us feel safe, I think.
Yes.
Absolutely.
It is safety.
And it's almost more polite just to like put your hand on someone's shoulder and be like, hey, it was so great catching up with you. I'm going to let you go.
Yes.
That's a good out.
Thank you,
actually really
Travis.
good, yeah.
That's really, really good. The other thing that your wife can do is she can say her name, oh, good evening, fill in the blank. It is so great to see you, and I'm so glad I got you now because I only have 3 minutes.
Yes, set the
timer, set the expectation.
The boundary, yeah.
Exactly. That's all you have to do.
All right. So, some of those other things, since we're going down this road, I want you to tell me the most polite way to do this. Somebody has spinach in their teeth.
Okay.
How do you handle it?
Are you the person to tell them or not?
Yeah.
I mean, you have to think about that. If you always save someone from themselves, so I would tell you if you were about to get on camera 100% of the time. What you can also, if you're not comfortable telling the person, what you can do, and I mean it's impolite at the table, but you can kind of like. Rub your tongue against your teeth, something like that. People,
parodying, right?
They do. They just begin doing it as well.
I always tell somebody, but I do it discreetly. I pull them aside. Hey, man. Because I'm a bro.
Absolutely.
I'm not
For
going to let
guys,
you
I
walk
think
around with spinach.
I would want to know.
Tell me, he's like, dude, you got something on your teeth.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Well, you know what? There are friends or family members.
Yes.
Of course, that's I would be so mad at my husband if he didn't do that. Or no,
Right.
I mean, not mad, but he'd be like, you didn't tell me. I'll be like, I'm
The
sorry.
most polite way to tell someone they smell in a work environment, especially.
Okay, that's why the bosses get paid more money.
There you go.
That's it. Private office in the private. It's been brought to my attention by several people, and then you follow through with what that is. The other way that it can be done at work is probably just a boss. But let's say it's somebody that you're in a social group with or whatever. Who knows them the best? Because it's going to come the best from their best friend. Yeah. Their best friend just knows it too. Say, I think you knowing him or her so well, you could maybe bring that up and see if they won't do that.
Just when they walk by, spray some Axe body spray on them.
That works.
So they don't notice.
It works and that works. How do you tell someone they're talking way too loud? Oh. And I needed this when at my formidable teenage years.
Oh.
I can not stand being shushed by people. So there's got to be a more polite way because I get this shh all the time, and I can't. It makes I'm like I'm gonna
get one of these.
Yeah, I mean, like a little bit. Just bring it down a little bit.
No.
Is there a polite way to like shush somebody? Because
No.
There's not.
Okay, then just do it. So it sounds like
hard. No, there's not a polite way. I would try to put up with it.
Yeah.
The only thing that you can do, you can drastically lower your voice. Right. Again, they're going to mimic. And when you whisper, they're going to be like, and they're going to.
I do that if I'm talking to somebody and they're being loud. I'm just like, hey, and so I just start whispering. Yeah, I start whispering and they'll match my tone. But sometimes somebody's being loud. I'm like, hey, do you mind just keeping it down?
Do you know we do that? And you already know this. I know, Maralee, that we do that subconsciously, no matter what. Next time you're in a conversation, Travis, you got to try because somebody told me this and I started doing it. So if I'm standing like this, I will notice if that person is interested. They'll start doing
body
this.
language. Yeah.
And they're doing the exact same thing I do. Along those lines, if I'm talking a little bit lower,
I'm going to talk a bit lower. If you use your hands more in conversation, I'm going to mimic that. I'm going to use my hands more than I normally would, which...
Because we're trying to match.
Right, exactly. Because the more that we can find in common, the more that we like each
Human
other.
nature.
Yeah.
It's
I would
just-
rather
we
someone
connect.
scream "shut up" at me than shush me, though. And then I'll be like, "All right, gosh, jeez, sorry."
The most polite way to tell someone that, listen, please stop showing me 47 pictures of your grandkids. I'm not interested in this. It kind of might go a little bit like what
Like
you were
the
saying earlier.
conversation, yeah.
Do you just look at 2 or 3, or how would you handle
Well,
that?
that's why just take their phone.
It's just like the funny. I'll go
these are
through
great.
these. I'll
These
go
are
through
great.
these very, very quickly. Yes, absolutely. That's another one. Oh, people want a polite way to do an impolite thing, but the person's being impolite because you don't want to see 47 pictures of their new grandbaby. You truly don't. Obviously look at a few of them and say, oh, that, you just have to say things like, oh, that baby is so beautiful. I can't take it anymore.
People do this and they're like, "Oh, wait, there's just one I got to show you. Just wait."
Yeah,
Hold on.
I
And
know.
they're scrolling
I
for
know they
5
will.
minutes. They're like, "Oh, you're gonna love it."
I'm giving some answers because it's the only thing that we have, but does it work? Not usually.
Right.
We talked
for
a
some
little
of these.
About the cell phone, about how big it is, and I kind of passed through this. I'd like to go back to that.
Yes.
Telling people you're going to be, or just showing up late, or canceling by text, those sort of things. It seems like, tell us how rude that is. I would assume that is. Texting, we feel that is the easiest way to do things, but it might not be the most polite. Am I right or wrong on that?
If it's an emergency, if you don't know that, you can text. I'd rather text and know that the person's not going to show up.
That's true.
So that would be okay. But if you have a relationship with the person and you're not going to be bothering them, of course, a phone call, even if it goes to voicemail, because they hear the sincerity or the lack thereof in your voice.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So I'll remember that for sure, because it is easy to text. You're like, I don't want to go to this thing. And then we briefly mentioned on it, but how do you deal with somebody who's got their speaker on and they're in the airport and you're right next to them and you're trying to concentrate? I mean, do you give them the look or what?
You can just walk in a different direction. I will say, for those who feel the need to do that, if the person who needs to use the speakerphone or the person that wants to do the FaceTime, just stand in one place, because it seems like wherever I go, that's where they go. I'm in the bookstore, in the airport, or I'm trying to decide, okay, on this airplane, do I want to take regular Coke or Coke Zero with me, right? So, and then they're like, now they're there, and then they're there. If just find a corner, stay there. People will pass you by. It'll just be 1 second of their time, and you're not
Great
going
idea.
all around it. So go to a
Having
quiet
that
place.
awareness.
But I mean, please don't do it. But if you need to do it, maybe you really do need to see, Mom's just called. Mom is 86 and she just said, I just fell down. And, you need to see how serious that is.
You never know.
There's always things, but,
There is a special exemption if you're listening to the Opinionish podcast. You're allowed to have that on Spotify.
Yeah, you can do that anywhere, anytime.
Just want to let everybody know that.
Okay.
And Tubi.
And Tubi.
You also watch Tubi. It's the law.
You got a book that kind of lays this out. Let's talk about that.
Manners that mentor for moms.
Manners that matter for moms.
Manners that matter for moms.
Right,
But
absolutely.
it's also for dads,
And
right?
it was written kind of lady to lady, but the same things apply. The same
Sure.
rules apply. If I was talking to a man,
Okay.
I would maybe change some of the wording, but
Yeah.
not most of it. I mean, it's like says mom in the sentences instead
And
of dad, but
and
it's etiquette. It's universal to the
it can
United
apply.
States. I mean, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. That book is about American etiquette and it's not a book to like hand to your 8-year-old and say, here. It's a book, written to adults. And it shows you what to live out in your life so that your child can pick a lot of it up through osmosis. The best way to learn these things is through osmosis, even though I will say they will think, but you're the only dad who cares about that. No, nobody else's dad cares. This outfit would be fine with anybody else's dad. Dad, I can't dress like it's 1986. Dad, whatever. So sometimes you need others to come along and whisper in their ears, tell them what you've always told them, but they take it differently because it's a different person.
That my kids are more responsive to other authority figures, other parents. Sometimes they'll say the same thing I'm saying, but they listen to other people. They even respect. I see them show more respect to other parents. Is that just natural teenage behavior?
Yes.
Okay. So,
It is.
Okay. So, but is there a way to like graciously course correct that so that they can be a little bit more respectful to their own folks?
Of course there is. When you say that, this is how I feel.
Okay.
Well, the same thing that you would want them to say to you. Lead by example. This is how that makes me feel. And when I feel like that, then I don't want to do this or that or the other.
Yeah.
Talk about your feelings. Teenagers are all about their emotions, their feelings. So go at everything from that feeling emotional level. I tell you, and every study has proven it. You want really well-adjusted children, and I know it's hard. And I see these parents, and they're like, "Well, my child is." One lady, her child was learning Korean. Okay, all right, whatever. And then there was soccer, and then there was this and that. This poor kid had something every night of the week, and I thought, the kid is not going to do any of those things growing up. We let them go to soccer practice 3 days a week and consume all their time, so they're around people their own age. But they're not going to be professional soccer players. I'm sorry. There's a 1 in 1 million, 10 million chance that they're going to make it as a pro. But we all need to know how to get along well with each other, to show respect to one another, and it happens around the family dinner table.
Right.
Need to have dinner at it. Doesn't matter if it's takeout, doesn't matter if it's in a restaurant, but you need to sit at a table or at the kitchen island together and have conversations with your children, with your teenagers 3 days a week.
I wholeheartedly agree with that.
Their grades are better. They're less likely to be depressed. They're less likely to drink, to do, illegal drugs, all those things. Statistically, very high. Oh, tons of data. Yes.
We alluded to having, they listen to other parents and such, which made me think of a situation that happened to me. I taught my kids, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. It's a Southern thing, and I was raised that way as well. And I was at a restaurant one time, and my son was about 10 or 11 years old, and the waitress asked if he wanted something, and he said, yes, ma'am. And she goes, don't call me ma'am, and got offended by it. And I'm like, and I took it as, well, they're not in the South. But I'm trying to teach this kid manners, and you're telling you represent the world. How do what do I say? I needed to say something to him afterwards.
Right.
How do I handle that?
You handle that by you saying, sweetheart, she didn't appreciate it, but that doesn't mean it's not the right thing to do.
Nice.
And just like
makes a lot of
that.
sense.
So you keep doing the right thing, and you'll come out fine in the end. And people they get upset about ma'am, like it's old. No, it's not. It's the contraction. Where Americans be like, please make it fast. It's madame, which is lady in French. So like when we have our first female president, it will be Madam President. And ma'am is just the contraction. It's a shorter version of madam.
Yeah. So it's not rude.
It's not rude, and it's not old.
So
it doesn't make you old.
Give that ever happens again. Give her that explanation.
I think I will. With my grandkids, maybe I can do that. Okay, you have something in your school, the Etiquette School of America. It's called the Gracious Path, and you kind of break this down in the ages and stuff. Tell us a little bit about that, and really, what is learned in those age groups.
Okay. My littles are ages 5 to 7, and then my middles are ages 8 to 12, and teenagers there's 2 different classes. There's one for younger teens, and then there's one for high school seniors, college freshmen. And again, it's a framework of these 6 threads: conversation skills, life around the dinner table, so dining skills, dining mechanics, if you will. There is gratitude. I'm huge on gratitude. We need to thank people in person. We need to thank them in email. We need to thank them in a text message. And sometimes we actually take out a pen and a piece of paper and we write it down because that person's going to treasure that note.
We were just talking about that.
Sure. It's so rare, so they're gonna absolutely love it. So gratitude runs throughout that as well. The first impressions, there's a lot more to that we talked about earlier, and so that of course is taught in the long version, and those things take, depending on the child's age. My little ones, it's 7 hours. My older's, it's 14 to 16 hours. All of that. College success skills.
The whole course is 7 hours, or how many visits would that be?
For ages 5 to 7, it's 7 hours.
Right.
Ages 8 to 12, it's 14 hours. And that's one-on-one with me.
Okay.
I don't do group classes, because if you do group class, you have to teach to the middle. This is about me and the child, and they feel comfortable around me pretty quickly, within like 20 minutes. And it's amazing what they will tell you. They're never embarrassed to be corrected, because and you could just see them blossom.
Yeah.
Everybody always asks me, well, what is it that you like to do best? And the answer is partly true. Whatever I'm doing at that moment in etiquette, that's what I like the best. But I keep coming back to the kids because I love them. And I think because of my personal story, if I had me at that age, and when I see these, I've had moms cry because their children would not hold a conversation, would not look someone in the eye, wouldn't try something, wouldn't eat anything but chicken nuggets, and that was it. And I've had so many parents actually break down in tears when they see their child do these things.
They see a different side of them, and they're like, "Wow, we
see them blossom. Yeah, you really do into everything that into they're stepping in to who they really are. They're letting their best selves show.
Yeah.
All right. We will tell folks how they can get involved in that at the end, but we want to play a little game with you, right?
This is called, it's called Manners or Manipulation. Now, there's a lot of popular sayings and proverbs going back years. So we talked about manners make the man. Yes. And we want to know if it's actually polite or impolite. Kill them with kindness. Is that something that you believe in or you subscribe to that? Or is that passive aggressiveness?
Depends on the situation. Yeah, I would start out with kill them with kindness. And if it doesn't go there, again, it's all about boundaries. Put out that welcome mat. Don't be a doormat. Then just have a straight talk.
Right.
Oh, Benny Franklin in Poor Richard's Almanac, he said, you catch more flies with honey than vinegar.
True.
So we follow that.
Yes, absolutely. Why would you not want to start out kind?
Right. Why would you want flies?
Yes. Why would you want flies?
Now, this was in the movie Bambi, Thumper's rule. If you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all.
You have to speak up.
You do have to speak up.
You have to speak up. I mean, you can't allow an injustice to go.
You
can't allow someone to be injured or hurt or, whether their feelings are hurt or, if somebody's talking bad about someone, I'd say that's never my experience with that person and they're not here to comment on it. So I'm going to back out of this conversation. I mean, I'm quick to speak up nicely, and I've never had anybody be like, well, I don't like her anymore. Yeah. I mean, I think overall it's respected and they feel safe to talk to me because I'm not going to talk about them behind their back.
Yeah, 100%. And it goes back again to that confidence that you're telling people I have confidence and that they look to you as a leader. I love that idea. I love it. All right. The golden rule versus the platinum rule. The golden rule is treat others the way you want to be treated. The platinum rule, treat others the way they want to be treated.
I don't know how you want to be treated because I don't know you. So I'm just going to treat you the best that I can. And then if we have a relationship, I'll learn that along the way.
Yeah. That's smart. That's reasonable.
I like that a lot.
What about when people say, I'm just being brutally honest, Is that, or they say something and they add a but at the end.
No.
I'm not trying to be rude,
but anytime there's a but, you can ignore anything that came before that And keep in mind, I love this when people apologize and then they go and do it again. Inherent in every apology is this sentence, and I will not do it again. Yeah. If they do it again, then it was just an excuse. It wasn't an actual apology. And we won't apologize and mean it and live it out and show it. And we all stumble, we all fall. Then go back to that person and say, you might not be ready to forgive me yet. And I understand that. But when you are, I would really love to begin seeking your forgiveness.
Wow. Yeah,
I mean, I'm talking
powerful.
Yes, it's powerful, but and those are for huge things too. That's not when you accidentally step on someone's toe as you're getting in and out of a movie theater, row. Which
follow them to the car.
Yes, the movie theater rows, lining up a little bit. Do you, as you get into the movie theater row, do you face the screen or do you face the people?
Oh, that's at the front of the back. What do you give them?
Yeah.
They see my butt.
They see your behind. Huh?
Oh,
that's what I don't know if that's right or wrong. That's just what I do.
Are you supposed to face them so you're watching where you're going?
Yes.
So that, usually most roads now are a lot wider.
Yes, than they used to be.
Then you can just walk straight and just kind of side shuffle. But I usually generally face.
Yes, you are correct. So face the people, never the screen or stage, because it is
Because then I'm going to step on somebody's foot.
You're going to step on somebody's foot, and you know what? They can. Yes, I understand that. Instead of seeing your backside, they're seeing your front side, but they better be looking at your eyes. Yeah. You're going to know it if they're not.
I have a really nice butt. All right, I don't mind showing it off. All right. Here's one we hear a lot. Look, I was only joking.
Oh, no, you weren't.
Yeah.
When you say that, you really weren't. Right?
Exactly.
Just kidding.
Just teasing.
Yeah, that too.
It didn't feel like teasing to me.
Right.
Do you say that? Yeah.
It didn't feel like teasing to me.
Yeah.
Are you sure about that? Is there something we need to talk about? Sure.
I like that a lot.
Call them out on it.
We hear this in the South a lot. You always hear it. The worst things in the world is what? Bless your heart.
Oh, bless
your
heart. Okay, I was right. Bless your
heart.
heart.
Yeah.
Bless their heart.
Is that a blanket? You can say whatever you want.
That
seems
can
like what it is.
literally, in the South, bless their heart. That can be, okay, they're like all their light bulbs are on dim. Yeah. Or it can be, oh my gosh, call the church. We need to have a casserole train. Yeah, absolutely. It can be used in either way. You just have to get it from sentence context to the rest of it.
I love it. I think it's the most polite Southern way to dismiss somebody.
It says everything. Just that by saying, bless your heart.
Bless your heart.
Sweet. And we had mentioned the one, I'm not trying to be rude, but you always hear this one a lot. Listen, you either say, sorry if you are offended, or they start the sentence off with, hey, look, no offense, but... Are they really?
Sorry, you were offended. Like,
there's another thing.
Oh, sorry, you were offended.
He's like, are you? Wait, no, that's not an apology.
No, it's not an apology. Yeah. I'm being like, no.
Do you think people are when they say, look, no offense, but yada, yada? They are really trying to offend you. They're just trying to knock down.
So that you won't come back at them.
Yeah.
No, they mean to offend.
No.
I know. Maybe just not say it. You have to understand. There's so much, and it's social media, it's the internet, it's Reddit. Anybody can get on and say anything that they want to say, and most people have no business saying it. If you're not part of the problem or the plot or the answer, you don't even need to comment on it.
Right. Thumper's rule.
I like that. We're going to do lightning round now. We have a little intro here. All right, very good. So our lightning round. You want me to start off?
Yeah, I don't have it.
So, all right. So basically, first thing comes to your mind. All right.
All right.
Here we go. Lightning round. Finish the sentence. The rudest thing people do today is.
The rudest thing people do today is treat other human beings as machines. In other words, you're on your cell phone when the lady at Target or the person at Target is ringing you out. You're just not paying a bit of attention to them. You treat your servers like servants. They're human beings. Yeah. It's eye contact. It's smile. Yes.
I like that.
Nailed it.
Sorry, that wasn't a fast lightning.
That was perfect.
I'll make it faster.
Enough. Parents should always
let their children know they're loved unconditionally, that you can, no matter what you do, I will never stop loving you, so you don't need to do anything that's going to make me try.
Ooh, I love that. I love it. Never, ever fail to be kinder than necessary. Very nice. Wow. You're doing well on this.
Yeah. The one etiquette rule everyone should know is...
One etiquette rule. It's... If it doesn't come, etiquette needs to live two places within you. The rule is it lives in your head, so you remember the skills, and in your heart, so they're authentic to you. People want to be authentic. They say, oh, that's not me. Yes, it is. Once you do it enough, it's you. And because you're doing a good thing, not a bad thing.
All right.
It's called growing.
This kind of leads into this next one. The nicest compliment someone can receive is...
One that is based on something they did rather than the way they look. Although, that's fine. But it's personalized, and it is incredibly specific.
Yeah, it is.
I love that. Kindness is...
love in action. Our character on display for the world.
Ooh, I like that. Because character is how we act when no one's watching, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Respect is...
Same thing. It's our character on display for the world. It's respect for ourselves. It's respect for others.
Maralee is...
Maralee is a work in progress who's made a lot of progress.
Yeah.
I love it. You have.
Yeah, and you're helping others.
Yes.
I got to tell you.
And that's my joy.
We are really in a society where we need to get back to like this stuff.
Absolutely.
And or at least some part of it, because it's a matter of that social contract.
Yes.
And each of us need to sign it every day before we walk out and say, All right, I'm going to treat people that way. I might not get it back, but I'm going to make sure that they know that this is how you're supposed to.
You definitely made an impact on me, and I feel like that impact is grown from me to others. My daughters, like we go to a restaurant, they know how to order food. They know how to make eye contact.
Oh,
we bring their friends to dinner, and their friends, it's time for them to order. They're looking around at me. I'm like, I don't know what you want to eat.
Again, they're afraid to have a conversation.
Yeah.
They don't have to talk back to the
but
Instagram reel.
It all started right here with me. And now I spread it on to everybody else.
Crying baby did all that.
Yeah.
All right.
Not a baby anymore, but she still cries.
The Etiquette School of America. Tell everybody how they can find out more and your books as well. How can folks get a hold of you?
EtiquetteSchoolofAmerica.com. It's all there.
We'll have it on this podcast. We'll have links there as well. You'll be able to check that out. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you for the invitation. This has been so fun.
We might call you and properly text you in situations. Hey, Travis is doing this. How do I handle that? We'll see. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for tuning in as well.
Thank you, Mitch.
No, I thank you, sir.
I thank you.
Sir, I have to thank you first.
I must insist, sir.
I persist, you must insist.
I accept your thanks.
Thank you very much, for I have one.
I do as well.
Shall you, Maralee? Do you have one?
Of course. Thank you so very much.
And, of course, you can check out new episodes every Wednesday right here. Y'all take care.
Cheerio.
Cheerio, folks. We'll see you when we look at you, huh?